Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Ashley and I am the crocheting, blogging, maker of all things mompreneur here behind A Crafty Concept. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys step by step how to make this amazing Tunisian crochet heart beanie that I have on my head. This is a free pattern for you guys. I'm so excited to share it with you. You can also find the full version on my blog, linked below. If you like to read it instead of watching videos, that is available for you. You can also purchase the PDF version in my Etsy shop for only $3. That will help kind of fund what I do around here so I can keep making free patterns and videos for you guys to enjoy. I really hope you guys like this pattern. It is, like I explain it like I'm talking to a beginner. So if you've never picked up Tunisian crochet before, you should be able to do this and follow along with me. Same for the blog post as well. I wrote it out like I was talking to a beginner. So hopefully you guys can understand it and be able to follow along with me. If this is your first time doing a Tunisian anything, don't be worried. It's very simple. We're gonna go very slow. Once you get the hang of it, you'll start picking it up super fast, and it's gonna give you a whole new technique that you can do in your crochet hobby life. Here's what you're gonna need to make this pattern. 2 colors of worsted weight yarn, a beanie color and a heart color. You will need to split your beanie color up into 3 different skeins. Your largest skein will be referred to as B1. Your medium-sized skein will be referred to as B2, and then a small amount that you'll need that will be referred to as B3 in the pattern. And then your heart colored yarn, and this will be split into 2 balls or skeins with your H1 and your H2. You will also need an 8mm Tunisian crochet hook. This one is Clover brand and has about a 24-inch cord with the stopper. A 6mm regular crochet hook, or J size. This is also Clover brand and it's Clover More, and it is my favorite hook on the planet. You will need a tapestry needle to sew in your ends and help assemble your beanie. A pair of scissors. And last, an optional item is a pom-pom maker if you want to make and attach a yarn pom-pom on top of your beanie. That's also by Clover. There are a few things you need to know before we start. This tutorial is for the adult size Tunisian Heart Beanie, but other sizes are available on the blog post and in the PDF. This is the grid that goes with the pattern. It shows you how many stitches and rows the beanie has and where the color changes are. The yellow column on the left represents our chain ones throughout the pattern. These are not counted as a stitch. The 4 empty rows at the top of the grid represent our 4 decrease rows. You may want to screenshot this so you can have it as a reference, but it is also available on the blog post and in the PDF. Here is a grid showing you which stitches are made with each skein of yarn. This should help you get a better idea of how much yarn you will need in each skein before you start. With Tunisian crochet, each row is made with 2 passes, a forward pass and a return pass. When I do my forward pass, I yarn under to pull up loops instead of the traditional yarn over most people do. Yarning under gives your stitches a twisted effect, and it also makes your stitches tighter. I really like this look, so that's why I do it this way. Last thing you need to know before we start, this beanie is created flat. Then at the end, we will assemble it and turn it into a beanie shape. Now let's jump into this pattern and start making some heart beanies. We are going to start with our B1 yarn and leave about a 3-foot tail for at the end. That will save us from having to have more tails to sew in. Make your slip knot, and with your Tunisian 8mm crochet hook, go ahead and chain 59 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, after you get 59 chains, we are going to put our forward pass stitches into the back bump of our chain stitches. So if these are the front loop and the back loop, the regular side that you normally put your stitches into, we're going to flip it over so we can see the back, And this right here is the back bump where we're going to insert our hook, and you want to start in the back bump closest to your chain, like closest to where your hook is. In a lot of crochet patterns you skip the first chain, but in this one we're going to go right in there. And then this is where I yarn under versus yarn over, but for my forward passes I yarn under and pull up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. That represents 2 forward pass stitches. So the first loop that's already there will always count as a stitch, and I will remind you that throughout the pattern so you don't accidentally forget that and mess up, because I did it myself. It's not fun. So we're going to keep going under the back loops, yarning over and pulling up a loop, back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're going to do this all the way down until we have 59 loops on our hook. Now I have 59 loops on my hook, and one thing left is this guy, and this is where we're going to do our chain stitch, and it does not count as part of our 59 stitches here. So we're just going to go into the back loop of the last guy, which is a little bit tricky, and then pull up another loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 1, and that counts as our chain. It is not part of the count for the row. Now we're going to do our return pass, and each stitch is going to be done the exact same way. We're going to yarn over and then pull our yarn through the next 2 loops on our hook, and that counts as 1. So that is 1 completed stitch, those 2 vertical bars right there. Yarn over, pull through 2, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, that's 3, 4, and then I'm just going to do that all the way down the row here, and just squish up your yarn as you feel it starting to be like far from you. You can just squish it right up. That's what this cord does for you guys. So yarn over, pull through 2 until you get 59 stitches in your return pass. And then the last 2 loops for 59, so 58, 59, and that completes our first row, and it's also known as the foundation row. Now we're going to start row 2, which is where I'm going to introduce the Tunisian knit stitch, which is the only stitch we're going to use besides decreasing for the rest of the beanie. So to do the Tunisian knit stitch, you're going to locate the first 2 vertical bars on your chain or on your previous row, and that is where we're going to insert our hook, right between the 2 vertical bars. So we're going to insert our hook, grab our yarn, and pull up a loop. We now have 2 stitches on our hook. Remember, that counts as 1. So find the next set of vertical bars right here, insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull up a loop. That's 3. And we're going to go all the way down until we get 59 loops on our hook. Each row is going to have 59 until we get to the decreases, and then we're going to come back with our return pass. I'll go ahead and do the last few here on camera so you can kind of watch how I hold everything. That's 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and then you just, once you get a bunch here, you just kind of scoot them down and they'll fall right off onto your cord and they'll be safe. So now we did our 59 stitches. We're at the last bit, which is our chain. We're going to insert our hook under those 2 loops in the chain, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 for the chain. Now we're going to do the return pass, which is yarn over, pull through 2 loops for 59 times. 1, 2, 3, and that will be our return pass. And then row 3 will be done the exact same way as row 2, so I will just do that row off camera and meet you back here for row 4. I just finished row 3, which was exactly the same as row 2, and I went ahead and grabbed my H1 and B2 yarn skeins, and we're going to get ready for row 4. The pattern says Tunisian knit stitch 29 with B1, 1 with H1, and then 29 with B2. So we're going to go ahead and start here with 1, and that's actually 2 because that counts as 1, 3, 4. Good thing about this beanie pattern is it is symmetrical, so whatever you do on one side you're going to do on the other with the same numbers. So after you've made a couple of these, you'll be able to do it from memory and won't even need to look at this video or the pattern anymore. And I'm going to show you how to do a few rows with the color changes before I start doing stuff off camera. That way you can get a good understanding of it before I kind of let you loose off on your own. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay, now we are going to do 1 stitch with our H1. So grab some of your yarn, insert your hook into the stitch, grab your H1 heart colored yarn and pull up a loop there, and make sure your tail is a little, like, not too short so you don't accidentally pull it right out. Leave that dangling, and we're going to go on to the next stitch where we're going to grab our B2 and pull up a loop there. Now we are going to finish by pulling up 28 more loops of B2. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that will finish our forward pass, and we'll come back with the return pass. I will show you how to do the color changes, and then we'll move on to row 5. Okay, 29 loops in this color of pink. Insert into our chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 for the chain stitch, and now we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down. But when we get to our different colors, we're going to change colors. Okay, so after I get to about 25, I'm going to go ahead and pull this tail here a little tight, and you can see all of the loops start to tighten up around the hook. 27, and I'll do it a couple more times. 28, and then 29. Okay, now I'm going to give that one another tug, and once we get some more stitches going, it'll stay in shape. Now we're going to grab our H1, yarn over, pull through 2, and that completes our H1 stitch. Grab our B1, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, I realize that looks super sloppy right now, but all we have to do is give all of our little tails here a tug, and they will just cling right up. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down to finish the rest of this row for 29 more stitches and a total of 59 stitches. Row 5 says we're going to Tunisian knit stitch 28 with B1, 3 with H1, and then 28 with B2. So that's going to be row 5. There we go. 28, 3, 28. So insert your hook. 2 loops is 2 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 28 stitches. Now we're going to switch to our blue. So insert into the next stitch, grab our H1, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch. Gets a little wonky here because of all the tails. Just do the best you can. Grab our yarn, pull up a loop, and then our third stitch with the H1, and now we're going to switch back to B2. And we're going to use B2 for 27 more stitches. Into the chain, under 2 loops, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 for the chain. Now we're going to do a return pass by yarning over and pulling through 2 for 28 stitches. 2, 3, 4. 28, and you know you're about to switch colors when you have one left of that color and one of your next color right after it. That's when you know that you've done enough stitches and you're getting ready to switch, but I still recommend counting. But this helps you know, yeah, I probably counted right. If I counted 28 and I landed here on 28, then it's probably right. So I'm going to give the blue a tug, tighten up all those stitches, yarn over, pull through 2 for 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 for 3. Now I've got that color and then the next color, which tells me that I counted my 3 stitches right. And I'm going to grab my B1, yarn over, pull through 2, give everything here a little tighten so it can look cleaner, keep the stitches in the right places, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 for the rest of the row. For row 6, we're going to Tunisian knit stitch 27 with our B1, 5 with our H1, and then 27 with our B2. I'm going to do that off camera and come back after I finish the forward pass. I have 27 loops on my hook for my forward pass with B1, and I thought I would do this part with you guys. Insert your hook into the next loop, grab H1, pull up a loop. Now if you can see this one's getting a little conky wampus, that's just because that's where the color changed. Just give it a little turn and then make sure you insert your hook into the front side of it. And 3, 4, and 5. Now I'll switch to my B2 and I will finish out the row. Okay, I have all my stitches on my hook. Gonna do my chain stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, and then I'm gonna yarn over and pull through 2, all the way down all the stitches, remembering to change when I get to the color bits. I just finished row 6 and now we're going to move on to row 7, which is Tunisian knit stitch 26, then 7, and then 26. So I'm going to do my forward pass by pulling up all my loops. That counts as 2 stitches. 3, 4, until I get to 27, and then I'll switch to my blue. Just finished my forward pass for row 7. I'm going to insert my hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one from my chain up, and then I'm just going to do the reverse pass, return pass, getting all of my stitches and changing when I get to the blue. The pattern for row 8 says to Tunisian knit stitch 25 stitches with B1, 9 stitches with H1, and then 25 stitches with B2. So we're going to start right here with B1. That's 2, 3, 4, 24, 25. Go into our chain here and chain up. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 for 25, 9, and then 25 again. 3, 24, and 25. Okay, and let's just go straight into row 9. The pattern says Tunisian knit stitch 24 with your B1 yarn, 11 stitches with your H1 yarn, and 24 stitches with your B2 yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 24. Go into our chain. Here we go, pull through 1. Okay, now we're going to do our return pass where we pull through 2 for 24, 11, and 24. 1, 2, 3, 23, 24. For row 10 it says Tunisian knit stitch 23 stitches with B1, 13 stitches with H1, and 23 stitches with B2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, into our chain here. Chain 1. Now we're going to do 23, 13, and 23. Back down for the return pass. Okay, now we do rows 11 through 13. All 3 rows are going to be the exact same, and we are going to do 22 with B1, 15 with H1, and then 22 with B2. I will do the first one here with you guys, and then I'll do the next 2 off camera. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we grab our H1. 1, 2, 3. 14, 15, and then we do 22 with B2. Into our chain. Now we do our return pass. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're going to do that same row 2 more times. So it'll be pink on top of this, blue on top of this. We won't be extending our blue out for the next 2 rows. It's just going to stay right where it is for rows 12 and 13. And I'll do that real quick and then I'll be right back. My gut was telling me somebody is going to need to see this step, so I just did my 22 and I'm getting ready to do 15 in blue. So the 22nd pink is right there, and this is going to be my first for 15. Just going to go right in there. maybe. 1, 2, 3, and then 15 will go right there in that last blue spot from the previous row. And we will jump back over here with our B2. Now I'm going to finish the rest of it off camera. I just finished row 13 with the 22, 15, and 22. So for row 14, we are going to need to grab our B3 and H2 yarns. I've got those right here. We will be joining those in, and we've only got a few more rows of color changing, and then it's to solid B1, and it'll start going a lot faster. Tunisian knit stitch 22 with B1, 7 with H1, 1 with B3, 7 with H2, and then 22 with B2. Sounds complicated, but it's not. We've been doing it this whole time. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to do 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we are going to pick up B3, which is our littlest pink, and I'm just going to make some room for it right here between those two. Go into the next stitch and pull up a loop just like we did at the beginning, and then just let that dangle. Go into the next and grab your H2, this guy. Make sure you leave a long enough tail so it doesn't slip right out of there. Okay, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then last we will do 22 over here with our B2. Okay, and into our chain, pull through 1. Now we're going to do our return pass. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to just give this guy a little tug. Pick up our other yarn here for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, before I do 6 and 7, I'm just going to pull on my tail over here because it's going to tighten both 6 and 7, but then I'm just going to loosen them up just a little bit. 6, and one more time over here for 7. There. Now we are going to pick up our pink, giving both tails a tug, and then grabbing this one. And we're just going to do pull through 2 one time. That's the only time we're doing that for now. And then we're going to grab our blue and pull through 2 for 7. So that's 1, 2, give it a tug, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 22. Sorry, 22 with our B1, 1, 2, 1, and 22. Row 15, Tunisian knit stitch 23, 5, 3, 5, 23. 2, 3. Okay, so here's 22, and then 23 is going to go over here because we're shaping the heart and bringing it in. So that's going to go on top of a blue for 23. Then we have 5 blue of our H1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Okay, now there. We are going to take our pink, our B3, and put a stitch here, then one here, and then one here for our 3 stitches. 1. Sometimes it gets a little weird where all those tails are next to each other. 2. Then 3 will go right here. 3. Okay, I'm gonna pull that pink tail so it gets nicer right there. Okay, now we're gonna do 5 of our H2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to come over here and do our 23 with B2 starting in this blue slot right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, into our chain. And now our return pass. 1, 2, 3, 22, 23. Switch over here to our H2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch to B3. 1, 2, 3, and then back to H1 for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, B1 for 23. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I think our next row is our last color changing row, which is exciting. Looking good. So we are on row 16, which says Tunisian knit stitch 24, 3, 5, 3, 24. 24. Chain 1 and return pass. 1. Okay, that's it for all of our color changes. Thank goodness. Now we can just relax and do a few rows with solid pink before we start our decreases. So rows 17 through 27 are going to be just B1. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 59. And then we do our chain. There we go. And now we're going to pull through all 59 loops 2 at a time. Okay, row 17 is complete. And now we can snip off all of these guys. Just make sure give yourself enough for tying in. It's better to have too much than too little. And now we can get all of those out of our way. And all we need is B1 for the rest of our beanie. I'm going to go off camera and do 18 through 27, which is just 59 B1 stitches down and back. And then I'll be right back. Alright, I just finished row 27, so I've got 17 through 27 of just the B1, And now we're going to start our decreases, and then we're going to put this thing together. Okay, so row 28 says to Tunisian knit stitch 2, do that first. 1, 2, and then it says knit 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So to do a decrease or to knit 2 together, we're going to go under the first vertical bar of the next stitch and then through the next stitch just like normal. Then we're going to pull our yarn through both of those, and then that's going to make that vertical bar kind of go at an angle because it's pulling those 2 stitches together. Then it says to Tunisian knit stitch 5, so the next one's going to go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then knit stitch 2 together. So under the first vertical bar of that first stitch into the next stitch, pull up through both of those. Okay, and then it says to repeat that 6 more times. So we're just gonna go Tunisian knit stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a decrease under that first vertical bar into the next, grab it, pull it through. Then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, under that guy, into that guy, pull it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, under this one, into this one, pull up a loop. Oh, there we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
decrease. And then the row says to end with 6 Tunisian knit stitches. So we're not going to decrease again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Into the chain. And now it's time for our return pass. Yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3. And when we get done with this row, we should have 51 stitches. 49, 50, and 51. Okay, next is row 29. It says to Tunisian knit stitch 2, then decrease, then Tunisian knit stitch 4, and then decrease, and repeat that 6 more times. So 1, 2, now we're going to decrease where there was previously a decrease. So this counts as our first vertical bar, and then this is our next stitch. So we're going to go under this guy and then into that one, pull it through both just like before, and then that's going to pull that stitch over too, and you're going to have like a nice clean line of decreases. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're back to our decrease. It gets easy because you don't even have to count really, because your decreases just go on top of each other. So you Tunisian knit stitch until you get to a decrease, and then you decrease. And then each row there will be one less Tunisian knit stitches between the decreases. And then the very last row we will bind off, which is done a little differently. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 for the last one. We don't decrease down there. Into the chain 1, and then we pull through all of these for a total of 43 stitches. 1, 42, 43. Okay, our next row says Tunisian knit stitch 2, then 2 together, and then Tunisian knit stitch 3, 2 together. Repeat that for 6 more times and end with 4 Tunisian knit stitches. This one's already on our hook. Is 1, 2, then a decrease. I am going to finish this row off camera and then go ahead and do the next row because it's just the same thing. And then I'll come back for the last row. Well, the next row is you put 2 Tunisian knit stitches in between your decreases. A total of 27 stitches. I'll just do it with you guys. Okay, then we do our chain. And we're going to pull through 2 for a total of 35 stitches. 3, 34, 35. Okay. Row 31 says Tunisian knit stitch 2, then do a decrease. Then Tunisian knit stitch 2 and do a decrease. And repeat that for 6 more times, ending with Tunisian knit stitch 3. We should have 27 stitches by the end of the row. And then after this, we just got 1 row left. So that's 2, then a decrease. 1, 2, decrease. We should end with 3 Tunisian knit stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then there we go. And we should pull through 2 until we have 27 stitches. That's what our count should be on the end here. 1, 2, 3, 26, and 27. Last row. All right, for our very last row, we're going to slip stitch across. I'm going to undo my cord here so you guys don't have to hear it smacking around on the table because we won't need it anymore. And row 32 says slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2 together, and you just repeat that all the way down. So I honestly don't know what this counts as, but it doesn't matter. It's the very last row, so we're not even going to worry about the first one. And we're just going to go right into this hole here, grab our yarn, pull up like normal, but instead of just leaving a loop here, we're just going to pull that on through. That's 1 slip stitch. Now we're going to do a slip stitch decrease under the first bar, under the second bar. We're not going to go through this time. And then pull through all 3 of those for your slip stitch decrease. Now we just do a slip stitch, which is in, grab, pull through, then a decrease. Under the vertical bar, under the vertical bar, grab and pull through all 3. Okay, next one is just a slip stitch, and then a decrease, vertical bar, pull through all 3. And we are just gonna do that all the way down. And then we can cut off our tail here. And we're gonna end with 2 just Tunisian slip stitches, 1, 2, and then into our chain here. through all of it, and now we can tie off. So you're gonna wanna leave about a 6-inch tail. So because we're gonna use this to knot later. I'll show you. Okay, and now we are done with the body of our beanie. It's beautiful, looking great. Before I start turning it into a beanie, I'm just gonna go ahead and sew in all of my tails that are around the heart. The ones at the tips, so the bottom tip and the top tip, you can kind of tie those together just to leave them, because they're right next to each other. You don't want to do it as tight as you can, you just want it to be snug. Just double knot that one, and then double knot this one. Like I said, not as tight as you can, just down in there so they don't get loosey-goosey. And then we're gonna sew all these ends with our tapestry needle. And I will do 1 or 2 of these with you and then do the rest off camera. So I'm gonna tug on that until it's taut, not tight. You don't wanna bunch up your heart. Okay, now we're gonna go I like to stay within the rows. So, it's hard to do around my tripod. And I'll go ahead and give this guy a tug because you might accidentally grab some of those threads that are, in the yarn. And I just like to do a couple passes, making sure my yarn is nice and snug in between some of the fibers right there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and snip that off so I don't get confused on which ones that I have tied in and which ones that I haven't. I'll do this one with you guys and then I'll do the rest off camera. So I'm going to pull it a little bit, just a little bit, go into here. You just need to be really gentle. Don't try to rush through this part and don't yank it around. It's dainty. Okie dokie, I'm gonna do the rest off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, all of my stitches are nice and snug and tied in and it looks really clean and nice. If your heart doesn't look great right now, just try it again, and it will get better with every single time that you make it. If Tunisian is new for you, don't give up on it. And if doing the color work is too hard, just do a solid color until you've figured this out or got it down pat to your liking. So let's go ahead and close it up. Fold it right sides together so your wrong sides are out. Okay, and so that's the first one of our slip stitches, and then our last slip stitch is going to go there, and then down here on this side the very bottoms are going to touch and meet up here. Now we are going to do a mattress stitch by using our very first tail that we left. This just prevents us from having too many tails to tie in because I'm lazy. So you're going to go into the very bottom side chain here. Just put your needle under those 2 loops and then pull it through. And that's gonna slowly start to bring your whip together. So now we're gonna go up in this guy. Now we are gonna go into this guy right here from the inside of the work. So not out here, and go in this way. Pull it through. Next is this guy. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way up the side. Pulling snug but not tight. Okay, I'm almost to the very end now. And I'm just going to put my last stitch right here. Leave this still on my needle, but I'm going to go ahead and tie these 2 tails together. Just to keep it extra secure. We want our beanies to be secure so they don't fall apart. Okay, Okay, and now we are going to flip it right side out like this and take the tail that's still on the needle and pull it through the top hole. Leave that one down in there for now. And now we are going to close up this little hole. I'm going to show you my favorite technique for closing up holes. I think I learned this from either Bee Hooked or Repeat Crafter Me. I don't remember exactly. But what you do is you put your needle under the front loop of your first stitch, and then you just twist it, and then under the front loop of the second stitch, twist down third, and you're just gonna keep lifting up front loops only. And then after you get a few on your tapestry needle, this one's pretty long actually, so I can get a bunch on there, you're just gonna pull it through. And when you do that, it squinches all your stitches together. And I'm going to do that all the way around until I get back to the beginning. And then I'm just gonna pull it pretty tight so that all of them clinch together nicely. Okay, and now I'm going to kind of sneak my hook under, or my needle, there we go, under these same loop stitches here, just kind of like for a second pass, and pull them tight. And I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around for 1 or 2 times. That way it's nice and snug in there. You want to be careful though that you don't accidentally pick up any body stitches while you're doing this, because I did that once and my body was like clamped right here on the side. It looked awful. I was angry because the beanie was great. And then I sewed it in and everything before I even realized it had done that. So just be aware that that can happen, so you don't do it. And now that I'm back around, I'm going to send my tapestry needle down into the body. I put my hand into the beanie so I can feel with my fingers where the tapestry needle is. That way it's not like coming out the side. Just down into the center and then flip it inside out again, just for a second. I'm going to tie these two together again, like I did before the circle. 1, 2, and then I'm going to just sew these in to the hat and hide the stitches, being careful not to grab like sides of the beanie. I don't know if I did it during my closing or during this part, but it was awful. So I'm gonna put my hand into the beanie so I can feel that I'm not going through anywhere that I shouldn't be. I'm just gonna hide this. And then sometimes if this won't come through, if you twist it, that helps. I don't know if you knew that little tip or not, but sometimes I do it without thinking and then I forget to share that little tidbit, but it helps a lot for finicky tails. Okay, now on to the brim. Flip your hat back to where you can see the pretty side. Now we are going to crochet our brim. So to do the brim, you're going to need a size 6mm crochet hook. This is a J. Clover & Moore hook, which I love. Insert your hook into where you seamed up your beanie. Grab your yarn, pull it up, and then chain 1 to secure. Okay, we're just gonna single crochet in each of the 59 stitches around from when we made the beanie. So we're gonna go, this first one's a little weird because it's like the side chain, I think. Okay, just a regular single crochet, but you want to kind of do it loosely, not like where it's sloppy, but just not super tight tension, because we are going to need to get into the camel hump for rows 2 and 3 of this brim, and it's easier if your stitches aren't too tight. So I'm going to go around single crocheting right here, and I will be right back for row 2. Okay, I just finished my 59th single crochet. Now I'm going to join into the top of the first single crochet and chain 1. Now to do a single crochet camel stitch, so this is the top of our stitches. We got the front loop and the back loop, but if you tilt it to the back, you see this little whoop right here that's connecting the 2 stitches around, like 1, 2. Into this guy is where we're going to be putting our stitches, and what that's going to do is push these 2 loops forward to give a knitted look to kind of go along with the knitted look of the body. So into this camel hump here. It's not easy, but it's not hard either. It's just finicky. Okay, and then that's where we're going to place our single crochet. And we are going to do that all the way around for 59 single crochets. And then we're going to do the same thing for row 3. And then we're going to tie off. I will be right back after I finish row 3. Like I said, it's not hard, it's just finicky. Go slow, be patient with yourself. You will get it, and it will look super cool. See how the stitches are laying on the front instead of up and down like normal? Okay, I'm gonna finish rows 2 and 3. Now I'm just going to join. I just finished row 3. Join into the top of my first single crochet and tie off. Woohoo! How pretty is your new Tunisian Heart Beanie? I really love this pattern, you guys. Not just the pattern, I love the technique of Tunisian crochet. It is just so fun for me. I hope you guys enjoy it too. So now that you've finished your beanie, you can get fancy and add a little tag here, or a pom-pom with coordinating yarn or faux fur. Get creative. I made this one that you saw at the beginning of the video, and I made the faux fur pom using my Clover pom maker. This is a size large, and I attached a tag that says a crafty concept that I got from All This Wood on Etsy. I will link this stuff for you below. I love making 2 beanies, so just pretend that's a pom. So cute! Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the pattern and love your new Tunisian Heart Beanie. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more free crochet patterns and tips on how to sell your finished crochet pieces. Instagram is my jam. You can check out my profile by following the link in the description below. Feel free to pop on over there and introduce yourself. I'd love to insta meet you. Until next time, happy crocheting!